So in this episode, I'm going to talk about drafting and the way you can draft your hero is like the best way possible. The way I look at drafting is like the first two important things. Like the first one is your items. What items are good in the meta? For instance, right now, Echo Saber and Halberd are pretty good. So ideally, you want to get a hero that's going to be able to buy them, and it feels natural for this hero to buy them. So obviously, automatically comes to mind Slark, because he likes to rush Echo Saber, and he likes to buy Halberd, and he's almost impossible to die. Like the next step, obviously, is about looking at the enemy supports. If your hero is like if your hero doesn't care about the enemy supports, let's say like they have Warlock or Rust or whatever, and you can pick Nyx. Obviously, this is really good because you're not going to be needing to buy a BKB, and this gives you an edge like when it comes to core matchups, because you're going to get one item extra because of that. When it comes to first picking, because I like to first pick my carries even in pubs, for me this is a good mentality because you're going to get used to playing against counters, against even worse matchups all the time. But if you know the way you're supposed to play your hero, if you know how this, like if you know the limits of your hero, this is the most important thing. You're going to be able to play against any core matchup, and you wouldn't be caring about counters at all. And this is really important, I think. So for me, mastering a hero means that you want to be able to first pick your carry, even in pubs, even in competitive, and you know that even if they counter pick your hero with 5 heroes, you don't care about it, because you know the limits and you know how to push your limits, you know how to play from behind, like you know everything about this hero. This is what means mastering a hero, basically. Well, obviously for me, like reaching a good hero pool for me is like in every meta, you want to get like 3 heroes that you feel like you mastered already. And with time, you're going to get around 5 to 6 heroes. And obviously, all of these heroes are going to be really good in almost any meta, I would say. So this is how you start, like this is your start. And then you can slowly build into getting more and more picks. But like, you don't need to be a master with every hero, basically. You want to get a few heroes that are like situational. And you don't need to be mastered with it, but like you're going to get a free game. And with this free game, you're going to be able to win it. But you don't need to be a master with these heroes. Thinking about the enemy carry, obviously, like I said again, it depends. If your hero doesn't feel threatened by the enemy cores, or let's say like you have more catch than the enemies, but your carry matchup is going to be worse, this is going to compensate for the lacking of like core matchup, for instance. So let's say your supports have catch, but the enemies lack the catch. You can allow yourself to have a worse matchup with the carry. This way, it's going to compensate. How you want to draft your hero is like you need to look at the enemy supports. Do they have enough catch? Or just in general, do the enemies have enough catch for you? If the answer is no, you can allow yourself to get a more greedy pick, or even like a hero that's not the best at the start, or you can draft your hero as early as you can, the moment you see those 2 supports, without caring about the enemy core, obviously. So yeah, in this replay, we're playing against VP. It's an official game, and I decided to play Lifestealer. Now I'm going to explain why. So in this game already, we removed some of the counters for Lifestealer first. Like as you can see, we banned Beastmaster. All of these chain-stun heroes are out. And now, the next thing I told you before, I'm looking at the enemy supports first. Like it's a Techies and Warlock. Both of these guys don't threaten Lifestealer at any point of the game. Then the next thing is Spectre Lifestealer matchup. Obviously, Lifestealer is really good because like in this game, what we wanted is an objective push hero. So we wanted a Deso hero, and that's why Lifestealer was so good, because both supports don't threaten you. You want to buy Desu, you can get Rosh, and that's when you're going to start going high ground against Spec, not allowing them to come online, basically. So we just decided to pick it here without seeing any more cores, because it's already good enough. Storm Spirit comes in, and I kind of know already that I'm just going to be buying Halberd, because Storm doesn't like to play against Halberds. It's quite kind of annoying for this guy, and that's about it, I think. It's already a really good next game. So as you can see, we ended up winning this game quite a lot, and they had no catch for Lifestealer. As you can see, I bought Deso AC just to go high ground, because they cannot stop me going into there. In this replay, I decided to pick a hero that complements my team, and I didn't care so much about the enemies. So basically, I decided to play Void after I saw Shadow Fiend mid. I saw Lina position 4, and not only that, I saw their enemy carry, I saw PL, and he thinks that like most of the guys that play Void feel like Illus can counter Void, right? But it's not really true, because with Void right now you can buy Battle Fury, you can buy Ags, and with the level 15 change on the Tyrant, you basically destroy every Ilu hero, almost. And it's also another heavy catch for Storm. You go for the cast range when you buy Battle Fury Ags, because you can just catch and kill the Ilus all the time at any point. So you can see the draft in two possible ways. Like the first way is obviously you can get a hero that complements your team. But if that's not really possible, then you can just switch to the other side. And again, you can look at supports. If that's not possible, you can look at core matchups. This way you can decide what's best. Because not every game you can get a hero that complements your team. So sometimes you need to get out of the box a little bit. Even if it doesn't fit your team, it's still good in the game, so that's what matters. When it comes to carry matchups, the first thing you look at is the items. Like, can you buy BKB? Do you need to be buying a BKB? How early do you need to buy this BKB? Then again, Echo Saber, E-Blade, it depends again on, like, are you playing against Ilus? And if you're playing against Ilus, can you afford yourself to buy a Battle Fury? Stuff like that you need to look at all the time. So you want to play a greedy hero if you feel like the enemies cannot come into your triangle at first. If you feel like your tier 1s are gonna hold up for more than 5 or 10 minutes. And if you feel like the enemies don't have enough like Rosh potential, because if they get Rosh, they can force high ground. And obviously you don't want to be playing into that with a greedy hero. You want to play a less greedy hero, if that's the case. So the most important thing about drafting is you need to look at what items are meta. This is really important. The next thing you need to look at is like the catch. And should you buy a BKB early on or later on? Those are the most important things when it comes to drafting. This is connected to mastering a hero as well, because if you allow yourself to first pick like any carry basically, and you're gonna feel that you're gonna play into counters, you're gonna see like the limits of your hero, you're gonna see how to push the limits of this hero as well. This is also really important, and yeah.